Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is Yermiyah, YOSHSHAAILA, Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk. And I'm going to be reading out of the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2. Judgment on Yahudah's enemies. And this is fitting because Yahudah in this country, and wherever Yahudah is scattered to, we're receiving a lot of violence. As the scripture says that the kingdom of Ayah suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom of Ayah suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. Our children are being murdered on the streets every single day. Their body parts are being harvested. Their organs are being sold off. Our children are being injected with all kinds of things in the school system. All types of vaccinations, indoctrinations, but no emancipations. And we sit back and allow these things to happen. Our children are suffering because we, as the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are not taking responsibility for our actions. We're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not following after the laws, statutes, and commandments that should be governing our lives, that we may have a blessed home. We're following after man's words. All these different teachers out here who deny this truth, who deny this word, and deny the Creator and the holder of the nation of Israel. Some deny that Israel doesn't even exist. Abraham never, existed. The Nawabians say that we are crazy to call ourselves of a person that is imaginary. Well, Nawabians' whole belief is imaginary because they made it up. Islam was made up by the Jewish people. And all these other religions are nothing but branches off from the teachings of the Torah. That's why they have similar stories of the Messiah, and all these things are nothing but teachings. And even Egyptology itself, some of the top scholars will tell you, Egyptologists will tell you, that majority of the things that we read of the dead books and all the stuff, the hieroglyphics, they made those things up out of the book of Abraham. Research it yourself. You have to believe me. Research it yourself. But I don't care. This book is a living book. I have seen the blessings of the Most High. I have seen the prophecies come true. And no other book has brought any prophecy to come true. I have seen in the Torah where it says that Israel will go into bondage by the way of ships, have a yoke of iron around their neck, and nakedness and hunger and thirst. And they were going to a place where they wouldn't know the tongue. I've seen when this was prophesied to Father Abraham, that his children were going to bondage in the 400 years and many strangers. There's no way in the world they would have been strangers in Egypt there, because they have been doing trades and commerce with Egypt ever since Abraham was probably even a child. He probably went from where he lived in Ur all the way to Egypt to do trades with his father. And as he got older, was he not in Egypt with Sarah and the people that was with him? So he was talking about another place. And we all know that. But you leave it to these other people who call themselves scholars and so intelligent that they so intelligent, they do have knowledge, but they have no wisdom. And without wisdom, you would take everything that this world gives you that is physical and follow that, but you'll never be able to touch the intangible because you have not the spirit of Ayah. Therefore, you only can reach a certain height. You can't touch the untouchable and speak the unspeakable and see the intangible, because you are tangible. And those of us who walk in the Spirit and truth, we can see the true areas of our people. And it has nothing to do with, the white man or any other man. It has to do with the fact that we walked away from commandments. Those who did wrong to us and our ancestors, they will pay with their lives. And in the book of Zephaniah chapter 2, we're going to look at that. But first we're going to look at what my day was like today. How the Most High blessed me to go out and teach today. True teaching.
This is Clay, the brother that I guess was ministered to, and Mr. Clark Day, and you understand that you're an Israelite now, right? Yes, sir. So you know that you move forward to do what Most High called you to. And I pray that Most High will bless you with all things you do, and I appreciate you allowing me to spend time with you and minister to you. You've been a blessing to me and encouraged me. And I thank you. Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
That was a blessing for me to be able to minister unto the brother today and hear from the truth, and he accepted it. And that's praise Ahaya in the name of his son, Yahushua, that he received this truth. We're going to read out of Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yes, gather, O nation, without shame, before the decree take effect. The day passes like the shaft, before the burning anger of the master come upon you, before the day of the master's anger comes upon you. Seek the master, all you humble of the earth, who have carried out his ordinance. We read that again, verse 3, chapter 2 of Zephaniah. Seek the master, all you humble of the earth, who have carried out his ordinance, law, statute, commandments. Seek righteousness, seek humility. Perhaps you will be hidden in the day of the master's anger. For Gaza will be abandoned, and Ashdod a desolation. Ashdod will be driven out at noon. Ekron will be uprooted. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast. As we saw not too long ago, what happened over there in Chile. The nations of the Shahirites, the word of the master is against you. O Canaan, land of the Philistine, and I will destroy you, so that there will be no inhabitant. So the seacoast will be pasture, with calves for shepherds, and folds for flocks. And the coast will be for the remnant of the house of Yahudah. They will pasture on. They will pasture on it. In the house of Ashkelon, they will lie down at evening. For the master, their creator, will care for them and restore their fortune. I have heard the taunting of Moab, and the rivaling of the sons of Ammon, with which they have taunted my people, and become arrogant against their territory. Therefore, as I live, declare the Master of hosts, the Creator of Israel, surely Moab will be like Sodom, and the sons of Ammon like Gomorrah, a place possessed by nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation. The remnant of my people will plunder them, and the remainder of my nation will inherit them. This they will have in return for their pride, because they have taunted and became arrogant against the people of the Master of Hosts. The Master will terrify. The Master will be terrifying to them, for he will strive all the slack. For he will starve all the gods of the earth, and all the coastlands of the nations will bow down to him, everyone from his own place. You also, O Ethiopians, will be slain. So everybody that want to say the Ethiopians are a part of the nation of Israel, he said, you also, O Ethiopians, will be slain by my sword. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria. And he will make Nineveh a desolation, parched like the wilderness, no water. And flocks will lie down in her midst. All beasts which range in herbs, both the pelican and the hedgehog, will lodge in the top of her pillars. Birds will sing in the willow. Desolation will be on the threshold. For he has laid bare the cedar work. This is the exalt city which dwell securely, who say in her heart, I am. And there is no one beside me. How she has become a desolation, a resting place for beasts. Everyone who passes her by, everyone who passes by her will hiss and wave his hand in contempt. The Most High has given a pathetic prophecy against all the nations that had come against YOSHSHAAILA, and what he's going to do to them. Notice that he didn't just say that he's going to take all the lands of Canaan. He said of Moab and Ammon, Ashkelon, all of them. He said, I'm coming after everybody. The Ethiopians, the Assyrians, everybody is coming after for the injustice against the nation of YOSHSHAAILA, Israel. So, what are we to be doing? We are to be cleaning ourselves, purifying ourselves, and getting ourselves ready to flee up out of here before the great day of his wrath, when it is poured on Babylon without measure. We ought to be inside of Torah, studying this day and night. We ought to be staying away from those who want to teach about Egyptology and all these other different doctrines that make no sense. Even the top Egyptologists will tell you that majority of the things that we know of Egyptology were taken from the book of Abraham and added to the writings of the Egyptians to validate them, because it was all torn up in pieces and it just took parts from the book of Abraham and added it to it. So we must understand something, that those of us that's in this truth, you have to separate yourself from family members, friends, husbands, wives, children who will not keep Torah. If they're not going to keep Torah, then what do you have in common with them? Because they are infidels. They are the ones that can be convinced by the government that you are evil, because they don't believe in what you follow anyway. So They believe what man say. Because when they don't have instructions on how to live their life, and they basically live their life the way that they choose to, and don't give any homage to the Creator of any type of worship or praise, but they give homage to man every day and bow down to man and take man's teachings, not the Creator teachings, above his teachings, then there are going to be a hindrance to you, like an anvil tied to your leg while you are in the middle of a sea, surrounded by sharks. You're going to be dragged down, and then you're going to become food for the sharks. You ever listen to Yermiyah, YOSHSHAAILA, Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk. Chapter 3 will be on the next video. Praise Yahweh. Well, I'm not going to say Yahweh. What I will say is Ahaya. I am that I am. So praise be unto Ahaya. And part 3 of this series, coming out of her, judgment on Yahudah's enemies. Come on out of her, judgment on Yahudah's enemies. Shabbat Shalom.